Good morning. Oh, come on. I know this is a very large auditorium and you all have been incredible to be socially distant, and we're sorry that we don't have more friends and family here to celebrate this amazing and auspicious occasion, but I'm going to say it again. Good morning. Okay, even through the muffled sound of our masks, that sounded very good. My name is Diane Farrell. I have the honor of serving as the acting undersecretary for the International Trade Administration. And I would like to welcome, I'm going to call you the classes of 2020 and 2021 for our E-Awards ceremony here this morning. As our first order of business, I would ask you to please join me to stand for the presentation of the colors by the Joint Armed Forces Color Guard and the singing of the national anthem by Master Sergeant Sarah Sheffield from the President's own United States Marine Band. And please be seated. Thank you. I again want to just talk about the fact that I truly feel personally honored to be here with you today. I also have to say this is the first ceremony that we've had in this auditorium for many, many months, and it seems very appropriate that we would be honoring those companies who are making such an incredible difference, have made an incredible difference to merit the recognitions that you have received or will be receiving for both 2020 and 21. But the difference that you're making every single day in the lives of American citizens, and as we continue to reach out to our colleagues overseas, our trading partners overseas, to ensure that as we look at our economies, the economies that we had back in 2020, and we look to our economies going forward, it's all of you who are making the difference. And we are very, very proud to be your partners. I say that with great sincerity. We have many colleagues across the United States who have dedicated themselves to ensuring that our companies can be as successful as possible as they compete overseas and as they grow their businesses, their organizations to include more people and to create more opportunities as we look at our economic strengths. So let me just say to my colleagues who are here from the U.S. field, to my colleagues who are working overseas at embassies across the world, I thank them, and I know that they are most appreciative for your partnership and for your contributions to the mission that we so passionately feel. I also want to say that I want to congratulate every one of you, and ourselves to a large degree. We have managed remarkably to adapt in the sense that we've embraced what the digital opportunities are, and we've been able to conduct ourselves virtually. That said, it is, of course, a disappointment that we were not able to honor the class of 2020 last year because it was just not the right condition, and that's why we're so glad that you all are here today. It was actually Secretary Raimondo who sends her deep regrets for not being able to join you this morning. It was a very last-minute change to her schedule that did not enable her to be here. But she felt very strongly for a period of months as we discussed when to have this event that we'd be able to do it in person, that we'd be able to gather here at the Department of Commerce in order to celebrate your accomplishments and to thank you all for the accomplishments that you have made on behalf of the American people. In that spirit, because, as I mentioned, I know that we weren't able to bring the plus ones, the loved ones, the coworkers to this event as we still continue to move away from the pandemic. Since we do have these two classes here, class of 2020 and the class of 2021, can I please ask the class of 21 to applaud your colleagues from the class of 2020? 2020, folks? And to the other class, can we do the same thing? Honor our colleagues. Now, it is truly a great honor and a distinct pleasure to be able to introduce our Deputy Secretary. You're going to hear some wonderful remarks from him. He has a resume that goes up the arm and down the other arm. It's absolutely remarkable. He has come from the private sector in addition to serving nonprofits and most especially his service to the U.S. government over a period of years. He has served as Executive Vice President and Head of Corporate Responsibility and Community Relations at KeyBank. In this role, he led KeyBank's corporate responsibility team, including the bank's $16.5 billion National Community Benefits Plan, the bank's sustainability work, stakeholder engagement and outreach, and oversaw the KeyBank Foundation and the First Niagara Foundation. During the Obama-Biden administration, Deputy Secretary Graves served as counselor and domestic and economic policy director for then Vice President Biden. He was previously appointed by President Barack Obama as executive director of the President's Council on Jobs and Competitiveness and led the federal government's efforts in the economic recovery of the city of Detroit. He has served on the board of directors of the Metro Health Foundation, the FDIC's Advisory Committee on Economic Inclusion, the Board of Trustees of the Community Reinvestment Fund, the Policy Advisory Board of the Biden Institute at the University of Delaware, the Board of Advisors of the Cuyahoga Community College, the Advisory Board of the Commission on Economic Inclusion, and as co-chair of Cleveland Rising. Deputy Secretary Graves' story, though, I really think is most interesting and probably most prescient 4 generations ago. 4 generations ago. He has an actual family connection to the Commerce Department. His 4 times great-grandparents built a successful horse and buggy taxi business in Washington that once stood at the site of the department's headquarters here. Their son, I guess that's your great-great-grandfather, went on to own a premier hotel just blocks away and became one of our nation's first black patent holders through the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. Secretary Graves, Deputy Secretary Graves, we are thrilled to have you here with us this morning and very much look forward to your remarks. Thank you all. Over to you.
Well, thanks so much, Diane, your overly kind and long introduction. It is really great to be here. I can't say enough how thrilled the Department of Commerce is to host this incredible group of winners and to celebrate your contributions to America's export growth, to economic opportunity, to job creation that you all are driving. I want to congratulate the winners, as Diane said, both of 2021 and 2020. I know that many of you have waited nearly 2 years for this, to receive this recognition. Much too long to wait, but I know that you did not stand on that and you kept driving forward with all the work. As you all know, the E and the E-Star Awards are the highest honors that the U.S. exporters and export service providers can receive from the U.S. government. The fact that you're receiving this honor today is really a testament to the quality of your products and services and your remarkable resilience over the course of an unprecedented global pandemic. You represent the opportunities that we all want American businesses to have: profit, impact, and economic growth around the world. From 2016 to 2020, the E Award winners being recognized today contributed to nearly $15 billion of exports in goods and services. And it bears repeating again, $15 billion of exports in goods and services. Your exporting world-class American products overseas isn't just essential for our economy domestically. It's absolutely critical for our economic competitiveness internationally. 95% of consumers are based abroad, and we all know how severely COVID-19 has disrupted international trade and global supply chains. In fact, trade declined by 20%, exceeding the declines after the 2008 financial crisis. Strengthening our domestic supply chains and increasing our engagement with international markets is absolutely vital to our economic recovery. That's why we at the department are doing everything we can to promote American businesses and products globally. But the pandemic exposed the fact that we're underinvested in our domestic manufacturing, that we've been underinvested, frankly, for decades. Today, we're seeing the impact of that across all of our supply chains, from the bottlenecks of home building materials to the shortages of electronics, batteries, pharmaceuticals. You all know this, you've seen this in your own communities and your own businesses. Because of those shortages, many of the companies that historically have relied on our overseas suppliers are now really appreciating the importance of strengthening our domestic supply chains. Some companies, many of you who are award recipients today, have recognized the importance of investing domestically and leading with equity long ago. Over a decade ago, Cloud Microphones created a partnership with Tuatone Industries, founded by members of the Navajo Nation, for circuit board manufacturing and assembly. Cloud Microphones could have outsourced the fabrication of their metal parts elsewhere, but they insisted on doing it locally. Their collaboration brought good-paying jobs to a marginalized community where unemployment levels average 47%. Many awardees also stepped up to help the fight on COVID-19 and saved countless lives, frankly. Ampronix purchased and donated 1,000 medical face shields to St. Joseph Orange Hospital. Finacity Corp. Financed supply chains for COVID-19 vaccines. And Nidec Medical increased their production of oxygen concentrators for hospitals and patients. Other awardees helped us adapt quickly to the virtual environment so that business could continue during the pandemic. Coleman Worldwide developed new virtual international trade show programs that service over 600 American companies, generating more than $2 million in export sales. AM Opportunities created the world's first virtual telehealth clinical training so international medical students could continue their residency in American programs. That's just a sample of the many heroic and impactful examples of American companies whose leadership has shepherded us through unprecedented times. So, all of that said, I just want to thank you for your commitment to export growth, to getting our economy back on its feet. Most importantly, your commitment to your communities and your employees. That's what really matters. We need this more than ever. So on behalf of President Biden, on behalf of the Commerce Department and our entire administration, I want to congratulate all of you, all of the recipients of the President's E and E-Star Awards. So let's please give everybody a big round of applause. And with that, I will turn it back to Diane.
And we will begin the honors. Okay, so we're going to start with Ampronix, Inc., Director of Business Development and Marketing, Michael Thomas. Michael. Fantastic. Once again, congratulations to each and every one of you for your extraordinary accomplishments. Thank you for what you are doing. Thank you to all of our Commerce colleagues as they work in partnership with you, most especially Mr. Deputy Secretary. Thank you to you. And I think now one big round of applause would be very appropriate. Fantastic. Time to celebrate. Thanks, everyone.